Please take care of yourself and each other. Good night.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. New Jeep Gladiators receive 20% off now at Cars Plus. Named the best vehicle for adventure in 2024. Get your Jeep Gladiator today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange expected to appear in NMI District Court on Saipan tomorrow on Wednesday at 9 a.m. I'm Tomas Manglonia with the full story as he reaches a plea deal with the U.S. Department of Justice.
The firing line is open, and I believe that for everyone.
Plus, should Castle Doctrine protections extend outside the four walls of your home? Senators weighing out that possibility in session today.
The federal receiver in charge of overseeing the cleanup of the Ordot dump is looking to block a lawsuit that Guam is filing against them. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with a report coming up.
Hafid, good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day.
Well, we begin with a story that has the world closely watching our region, the historic case of WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, who published classified information, is expected to come to a close tomorrow on Saipan.
He will appear in the U.S. District Court for the NMI. Regional correspondent Tomas Manglotin reports as Assange reaches a plea deal with the feds.
WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is expected to make an appearance in the U.S. District Court for the Northern Mariana Islands right behind me here on Saipan Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. The charges against Assange stem from one of the largest publications of classified information in American history. On Wednesday at 9 a.m. local time on Saipan, the world's eyes will be on the U.S. District Court for the Northern Marianas, where Assange is expected to plead guilty to conspiring to unlawfully obtain and disseminate classified information relating to the national defense of the United States. It's part of a plea deal with the U.S. Justice Department, allowing him to return to Australia, his country of citizenship, and avoid imprisonment in the U.S. He could be given credit for time already served in the United Kingdom. Early Tuesday, WikiLeaks posted to X that Assange boarded a plane and departed the United Kingdom. He's expected to arrive on Saipan in the coming hours ahead of his court hearing. Many residents on island asked why the district court on Saipan was chosen. In a letter to the court from the DOJ, they wrote, "It is in light of the defendant's opposition to traveling to the continental U.S. to enter his guilty plea and the proximity of this federal U.S. district court to the defendant's country of citizenship." Tomas Manglonia, KUAM News, Saipan.
And Tomas will have around-the-clock coverage of this historic case unfolding in the NMI.
Stay tuned to KUAM.com and KUAM CNMI on Instagram for the latest. Meantime, Stella Assange, the wife of WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, said in a video message released today that she was confident her husband's imprisonment has come to an end after he reached a deal with the U.S. government in which he will plead guilty to criminal charges and be freed.
Speaking outside Belmarsh Prison in the UK, where Assange was released Monday, Stella and WikiLeaks editor-in-chief Kristen Hafson thanked all those who supported Julian Assange and his cause.
Things are moving very quickly, and it's very difficult for us to plan or even play out the next few hours and days. But if everything goes well, Julian will be on a plane on the way to freedom.
The cost to Julian, of course, has been to be deprived of freedom for all these years. In the battle for journalistic freedom, freedom to publish, foundation of democracy.
Assange was indicted during former President Donald Trump's administration over WikiLeaks' mass release of secret U.S. documents, which were leaked by Chelsea Manning, a former U.S. military intelligence analyst who was also prosecuted under the Espionage Act.
Again, the 52-year-old has agreed to plead guilty and is due to be sentenced at a hearing on Saipan. He is expected to face no new prison time.
In other news, a deportee who was caught back on Guam breaking the law admits guilt in Superior Court. Co-Pichel Sama Shitaro pleaded guilty to vehicle without identification as a misdemeanor. He was spared more jail time and was released following his hearing before presiding judge Alberto Lamorena.
Prosecutors agreed to dismiss the charges of complicity to commit burglary and theft of property filed against Chutaro. He was ordered to stay away from the Tumuning business he is accused of targeting last October. Chutaro is now up for deportation. Investigators have not yet confirmed why Chutaro was on Guam after previously having been deported.
The defense of the castle begins at the moat, and that plays out in real life too. That's what one senator had to say as senators tackled a bill that would expand the castle doctrine law.
Here's more from day 2 of June session talks.
In a home invasion, Guam law legally protects you when defending yourself inside your house. But confronting an intruder on your driveway, yard, or even your porch, as in one 2016 case, could leave you criminally liable for using excessive force.
This was important in the Guam Supreme Court's analysis in the People v. John because the incident in question happened on a porch. As a porch was outside the habitable property, the Guam Supreme Court opined that castle doctrine did not apply.
Senator Will Parkinson pushing for castle doctrine reform through Bill 39, as the law currently excludes outdoor spaces and areas surrounding the home itself as habitable property.
Bill 39-37 makes sure that the law remains on the side of the homeowner or resident defending their home and not the intruders invading their inhabited space.
On the other hand, Senator Sabina Perez recalling what she calls the unwitting victims of the stand your ground law, urging her colleagues to be cautious of expanding the castle doctrine.
In particular, I recall a mother in which the friend was shot by another friend, and so this friend was always at the house, and they were welcomed as part of the family, but something happened and ended up in his death.
Perez also raising concerns that the bill's content would make it harder for the courts to adjudicate properly if an incident was self-defense or for another reason. Meantime, Senator Tom Fisher also making an amendment to Bill 39 to include the enclosure of property or reasonable notice of boundaries to avoid accidental shootings, a suggestion met with strong feedback from Senator Joe San Augustine.
The thieves know the boundaries, but they don't care because their intent is to steal. Their intent is to hurt. And the people of Guam are reaching a point where they're actually quite tired of that.
Still, Fisher doubling down on his reasoning.
The aspect of, innocent teenage boys going after pigs or something, and, traveling across property, and then I got a, cranky old dude with a rifle, and he takes pot shots at him, and I'd want that, I want to prevent that in some way. And I think we can do it.
Ultimately, the almost 3-hour-long discussion on the bill resulted in a failed motion to get it placed on the third reading file.
In the wake of the recently reported cases of fentanyl and other dangerous drugs, the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center announced they've got help available. The public is alerted to the many resources available. Fentanyl, a controlled substance approved by the FDA to be administered as pain medication with a potency described as 100 times higher than morphine. But when misused, it can lead to dependency and, in some cases, deadly overdoses. You can find a full list of resources available here on Guam on this story on KUAM.com. The military grants GovGuam's request for more time to allow the public to comment on its flight test missions. Will the extension be enough?
And illegal dumping still a problem near a popular tourist attraction, but local authorities are moving much quicker to clean up.
Welcome to Kmart, your 24-hour superstore since 1995. Always there for you day or night. At Kmart, we're committed to offering you an extensive selection of products at prices you won't find anywhere else. From the essential to the exceptional, our aisles are alive with possibility. Bloom with confidence, style, and savings this spring. Discover stylish clothing that fits your budget without compromising on quality. From trendy pieces to timeless classics, find the perfect look for every member of your family without spending a fortune. Then pamper yourself with our selection of essentials, from nourishing shampoos to rejuvenating beauty products and soaps. And let imagination soar with our selection of toys and games for kids of all ages. At Kmart, experience the thrill of discovery as you explore our aisles, filled with a variety of quality products that cater to your every need. From groceries to home goods to outdoor essentials, we are the ultimate one-stop shop. Dive into an unparalleled shopping experience where quality, variety, and savings await at every turn. Shop smart, save big at Kmart, your 24-hour superstore.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
The innovation you've been waiting for is here. Built on the 16X Cheez-It platform, it's the first flavor matrix stable enough to make a Cheez-It tostada possible, and cheesy enough to power the Crunch Wrap. Because if you want to change the world, you have to bring something big to the table. Think big.
In times of uncertainty, trust is what leads the way. The Medical City, your trusted partner in health.
Welcome back to Primetime. An update now to a notice sent out earlier this month to Jigo landowners around Andersen Air Force Base.
The Department of Defense Missile Defense Agency has granted the government of Guam's request, allowing 30 additional days to comment on a proposed final environmental assessment. KUAM intern Shauna Murato joins us with more.
The clock was expected to run out this time next week, Tuesday, but the Air Force has agreed to GovGuam's request to give the public 30 additional days to provide input on the flight tests or tracking exercises set to begin in fiscal year 2025. The new deadline to comment is August 2nd. Now, the Missile Defense Agency's Guam Flight Test proposed final environmental assessment and overseas environmental assessment public comment period is important. It allows the community's voices to be heard ahead of these planned military events. The military says the proposed action includes conducting up to 2 flight tests or tracking exercises per year over a 10-year period. This is expected to impact some living in Jigo. The military is saying, out of an abundance of caution, it will force select landowners on the boundaries of Andersen to stay away from their private properties during test events. Officials adding the purpose of the proposed action is to validate interoperability of multiple sensors and interceptor systems that could become part of a missile defense system developed to protect Guam. MDA Director Lieutenant General Heath Collins sent letters to Guam's governor and the Speaker of the Legislature notifying them of the extension. The letter noting their joint team is offering environmental and flight test experts to be available at Joint Region Marianas headquarters next month for a briefing with cabinet members and staff. Then a public meeting for the rest of the community is set for July 25th, but a location has not yet been set. Lieutenant General Collins assured local leaders that they are committed to defending the people, infrastructure, and island of Guam from an ever-increasing threat. You can find out more about the flight tests and provide comment by visiting the story on KUAM.com or going to any of Guam's libraries. Shauna Murato reporting for KUAM News.
Thanks, Shauna. Well, the federal receiver in charge of overseeing the cleanup of the closed ORDOT dump is being sued by the government of Guam. GovGuam is looking to hold the receiver liable for the dump's overflowing leachate in 2022.
But the receiver is hoping to block the lawsuit, arguing they have immunity. Mitsuki Hirayama reports.
The District Court of Guam is to decide whether the government of Guam can move forward with their lawsuit against the Ordot Dump's federal receiver, Grishman, Brigner, and Bratton. For the past 16 years, the court-appointed receiver has been in charge of overseeing the closure of the dump after it was found to be leaking leachate into the Lonfit River. But despite its closure, the dump was still overflowing with a toxic liquid waste, causing Gov Guam to sue 4 contractors for alleged faulty design and construction who were hired by the receiver. The government added the receiver to their lawsuit recently, who in turn filed a motion to block the lawsuit. They're arguing they can't be sued by the government without permission from the court, as a receivership grants them immunity.
The motion addresses the immunity of the suit under the appointment order. Gov Guam's attorneys failed to follow the requirements of the appointment order when they tried to add a receiver in the new lawsuit.
The case brought up by their attorney Joyce Tang during a recent Guam Solid Waste Authority board meeting. She adds the lawsuit undermines their efforts in cleaning up the dump and ending the receivership.
The lawsuit, as we state in our motion, really disrupts, interferes with the work of the receiver and the report.
Furthermore, the receiver claims Gov Guam has an illegal contract with the Kelly Dry firm and broke procurement laws.
There's a question as to whether even Kelly Dry has a contract with Government Guam with respect to the consent decree case.
This all comes as the receiver is seeking nearly $3 million in damages from the Guam Waterworks Authority for a waterline leak they say contributed to the additional leachate. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
From one trash story to the next, residents and those who frequent a popular tourist attraction sent images to KUAM's newsroom of trash dumped on a bike trail near Two Lovers Point.
But it wasn't too difficult for authorities to find the person responsible. Park police locating the illegal dumper by the name and address left behind. Jonah Gacharfaris has more.
Upset residents took to social media and reached out to KUAM about a bike trail near the Two Lovers Point area that was covered with piles of trash and cardboard. Park Police Officer Aaron Mosca responded after they were alerted to the posts on Facebook. He describes what he arrived to.
In a big pile, there was a lot of cardboard and car parts that was located under the cardboard. After rummaging through it, we were able to find a bunch of evidence.
The evidence? Box tops from packages that had the name, address, and business. Mosca was able to locate the owner of the trash, who admitted he had hired someone to dispose of his trash. He was not aware it was not disposed of properly.
We were able to find the third party, and he took responsibility for the litter, and we were able to cite him for that.
Soon after, the individual paid the $215 fine and was apologetic. He voluntarily cleaned up the site as well. Mosca thanks the community for the tips that led to the littering violator and reminds us all to
take care of our island, and that it really takes the whole island to keep it safe and clean. And for those who are thinking about litter, we currently are following up on a bunch of other leads.
If you see anyone littering, you can reach out to Department of Parks and Recreation, the Guam Police Department, Guam Environmental Protection Agency, or any law enforcement. Jonagan Charfres, KUAM News.
Well, the final week of Pride Month doesn't mean it's the conclusion of talking about the fight for equality.
There's a chance for the community to get involved in the discussion this week. Equality Guam and the Office of the Governor is hosting Pride Forum, Unity in Diversity. Hear from a panel of members from the LGBTQ+ community who are involved in legal, policy, education, social, family, and community efforts on Guam. The forum will be held this Thursday from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at the Guam Museum in Hagåtña.
Now for a look at your world at home.
Here's a view of the fiery flame tree on Saipan as they brighten up the entire island this summer.
When my career in 1999 took me off of Guam, I wanted to go and learn more. I wanted to gain more experience. I was able to operate at the highest levels of Washington, D.C. I was a deputy assistant secretary at Housing and Urban Development. I was the deputy inspector general for Iraq Reconstruction, reporting to a secretary of defense, a secretary of state, and 8 committees of Congress, both the Senate and the House side. Guam is how I got there. I was able to succeed because of everything that I learned. But I was always going to come home to bring that experience, to bring that back to Guam so that I could do something that made a difference. I'm Ginger Cruz, candidate for Congress, and I approve this ad.
Something is calling, and I can't help it. That's not the wrong when there ain't no song. Watch me as I go. This is my mood when I make a move. Watch me as I go. This is my mood when let's take a break. There's no use. This is my mood when I make a move. This is my mood when
Why wait to get the upgrade you deserve? Head to IT&E and bring home the phone of your dreams today without the high upfront cost. No contract required. Simply pay it off in easy, affordable installments with a device payment plan. You'll even save more cash with a huge discount on unlimited data. Or choose the 10 gig plan for a lower monthly payment and unlimited access to your favorite social media apps. Sign up today for the phone you've always wanted on the plan that meets your budget. IT&E. Connect with savings.
You think KFC's new pizza isn't pizza because it's made with crispy fried chicken? You think the marinara, mozzarella, and pepperoni aren't enough? Well, you're right. It's not pizza. It's chizza. Only at KFC.
12 high school rugby players from Guam are elevating their game and increasing their athletic IQ through a unique training journey in New Zealand. These young athletes are experiencing an intensive, immersive program in the rich culture of that country, where the sport is not just a game, but a way of life. Under the guidance of experienced coaches and mentors from Inside Running Academy, these players undergo rigorous training that pushes them to their limits physically and mentally. And the players got some cool cross-training too, doing the interviews themselves.
What do you take away from the level of play here being among the world's best?
The level of play here is very intense. Everyone is very self-motivated. They go the extra yards and they always push 110% at each practices.
And how do you share with your fellow campers what rugby means on Guam and how the sport has thrived on our island?
Rugby is a growing sport, and because of the popularity and the community on Guam, everyone is so supportive of each other and we always push each other to be our best.
Thank you. And how is training in New Zealand different from Guam?
Definitely the weather has been a big factor. Like playing in the cold, it's much different from Guam. But other than that, like the training in New Zealand is very similar to Guam. Well, like from Father Duenas, it's similar in the way we practice rugby and how to engage our skills and level up from there.
And how has this experience already benefited your game?
It has been beneficial to me because I've been able to identify different situations on the field and adapt to them quickly, no matter what position I play or where I'm at the field.
How has this experience already benefited your game?
This experience has already benefited my game because I have learned so much in just our first week here in New Zealand. I learned different ball handling skills, different points of contact, and I learned how to assess any situation in rugby, because in rugby anything can happen.
Thank you, Ellie. And what skills do you look to bring back and share with the local rugby community?
The way that they taught me out here to tackle, to pass, and to, on the intensity level.
What skills do you look to bring back and share with the local rugby community?
I look to bring back the skills that I've learned, like quick thinking and problem solving, and how to analyze and adapt to situations, no matter what position you play or where you are on the field, and how to be a good team leader and communicate what you want and what you need to the rest of your team.
And the best part of any sports camp is the ability to meet people from other parts of the world and make lifelong friends.
How has your experience been with the Guam campers?
It's been amazing. It's been amazing getting to know you guys, becoming friends with you, learning about where you're from, learning how you guys play rugby. You guys really pushed the level of rugby here since you've gotten here. It's been a lot harder, a lot faster, which is really great. It's been great getting to learn skills, new skills with you guys, seeing how you guys play on the field and teaching you guys my own skills.
My name is Basil Puzanski. I'm from France, Perpignan, and I've been playing rugby since I was 6.
Okay, and how has your experience been with the Guam campers?
The experience here has been great. Great people, first of all, outside the fields. And on the fields, also very curious to learn, very intense, and it's a pleasure to also learn from them. And I try to also teach what I can from the rugby I learned in France. And the fact that we share our culture and our rugby makes, I think, each other's game be way better, and I love it.
Introducing GTA Fiber. We're bringing our fiber connection from the neighborhood all the way to your home. Now you can get lightning fast speed of up to 1 gig and take your streaming, downloading, or gaming to the next level. Plus, you get our next-gen KUAM Wi-Fi, so you can experience all that speed throughout your home, built on Guam's most reliable network. Visit gta.net to see if fiber is available in your area. GTA Fiber. Nothing beats fiber.
Island Cancer Center has the only state-of-the-art Halcyon Linear Accelerator, providing radiation treatments in the Asia-Pacific region. We are excited to be back up and running after Typhoon Mawar. We have been providing the highest quality patient-centered care for 14 years and will continue to do so. Why? Because we love what we do. Island Cancer Center, our family treating your family. Visit us at islandcancercenter.com or call 671-646-3363.
This is a bag, but for Steve, this bag gives him food cred. Because now everyone knows that when they have that craving, or they're just looking for the perfect deal, well, they just need to follow Steve.
Follow him all the way to the new McTerry Deluxe at McDonald's. It's an all-beef patty smothered with teriyaki sauce topped with lettuce and tomato on a sesame seed bun. For a limited time, price and participation may vary.
Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by J. Goodman, a happiness company.
In this week's Giving Every Tuesday, we learn more about the nonprofit Micronesian Conservation Coalition and its dedication to conserving the natural resources of Micronesian islands through community-based research and education. Recently, the MCC held its 3rd annual Ocean Gala at the Hyatt Regency Guam. The event funds annual programs that allow MCC to do necessary research into our local reefs and fishes, provide education for students in the community, and advise businesses and military on how to safely proceed with planned projects to preserve both our land and ocean resources. The event raised more than $67,000. The event further celebrated organizations in the region that are examples of true partners in preserving our region, including 10 annual Tide Changer awardees, to include Andrew Lee of Amphibious Aquatics, William Naden for his tireless efforts leading the Mauricio Pier cleanup, Caden Pobletti, president of Marine Mania from George Washington High School, Christine McCormick, an educator at St. John's High School, for her dedication fostering a deep understanding and appreciation for marine biology among students and community, Hyatt Regency Guam, for the implementation of a comprehensive sustainability initiative including various practices, Regine Bisco-Lee for her tireless efforts to enact policies that promote sustainable practices, Margie Fallenru for her lifelong pursuits in marine research, discovery, international education, and regional leadership, Belinda Baird for her vital contributions to the success and growth of MCC, both on the administrative front and in the development of programs and projects since its inception, John Horig for founding the Island Eco Services Group to create more opportunities to assist with these types of programs in the region, and Laura Biggs for bringing her hypothesis-driven chemistry curriculum to Guam and managing a staff of 10 to implement the Let's Do Science education program. Congratulations to the awardees and to the efforts of the Micronesian Conservation Coalition. For more information, you can visit micronesianconservation.org or contact them at micronesianconservation@gmail.com.
Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by Jay Goodman, a happiness company.
Okay, Karth enthusiasts, this one is for you on News Bites. This Saturday, make sure on the 29th to check out the Heart of Hagåtña down at Paseo, because you are going to want to check out the Paseo Takeover. The Lieutenant Governor, Parks and Rec, and Imminent Unlimited are giving car enthusiasts a safe and permitted place to gather and hang out every single month. Remember how this used to be in the old school way? It's coming back, and it's going to be safe, and it's going to be awesome, so make sure to check it out. Micronesia Climate Change Alliance and our friends at Hita Letexan are presenting Celebrating Indigenous Art and Native Land Stewardship. This is amazing. See the voices, the expressions, the opinions, the perspectives of some truly great artists. That is on Saturday, July 13th. And you are invited to 2024 Pride Talks if you are up in the CNMI. It is a safe space to bridge equality between allies and queer voices. That is on the 28th in Garapan. And that is what's happening today on News Bites.
Time now for birthday wishes.
Here's your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shoutouts, which you can submit on KUAM.com.
Okay, guys, today's 2 birthday shout-outs. Great job by the families and friends who wrote these. Check these out. These are awesome. Happy 20th birthday to Alana Aloka Akfaji. Continue to be the awesome big sister you are. You set the milestone for your sibling and amaze mom and dad on the potential you have to succeed beyond limits. We love you today, and we love you for all the tomorrows from your family. I told you guys these were good. Awesome job. And Francis Toves, happy 17th birthday to my baby Francis. We hope you enjoy your special day. We love you. Say Mommy, Sissy, Nessie, and Sissy Anna. Those were great. I told you guys, great job. Keep them coming.
And that's your Primetime Show. Thanks for watching. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Have a safe evening and stay beautiful.
House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. This is House to Home, where we tell you about real estate, the ecosystem that involves it, and sometimes about policy that gets involved too. Liz and Gina are here, and ladies, let's get up to speed on the conversations that we've had in the last couple of weeks. We of course had Senator Chris Duenas a couple weeks ago offering perspective on that bill on parental subdivisions, and then last week we had John Duenas, the engineer, who was offering the scientific perspective. So Liz, as it stands right now, where do we stand? Because we know the legislature will actually hear this bill.
Well, the legislature is right now in session. So we were there yesterday when they opened up. And of course, we thought that they would vote on every bill as they came up. But as it stands, they introduce the bill, they introduce amendments, and they go through each and every one of them before they go back to actually vote on it, which we found very interesting. And they're in the general, the big session hall. So the public is not able to enter that section, but you can certainly sit outside in the gallery to observe. And then they also have it live. So they just started. So they have it live on, you can pick it up on your phone or your TV or your computer and listen into what's going on. But it's a very interesting process where as each bill comes up, they debate, they amend, and to some degree, we felt like some of them were grandstanding.
Okay, well, there was a key word in Gina, because Liz touched on it and she said process. So, I mean, it's not exactly like, they come in and 5 seconds later, it's either yay or nay. I mean, it's not a jury trial, right? But there is testimony, and if you feel strongly enough that you wish to lend your voice to this argument, then your voice will be heard as a citizen.
Not as a citizen, your representatives are there, right? And their the process of the citizens showing up to give testimony, that's done because we've already had those public hearings about the 2 bills.
Oh, that's right. We're past that part. Yeah.
Yeah, we're past that part. So the senators right now are, we watched the process yesterday. It was really interesting. We have made an effort to go down there, and there are some, you know, we're there. I mean, yeah, you could say we're there as realtors, but we're really there to support this cause because we really feel so passionately about it. And we have not our family members, but people in the community who have come to us and have asked for help about particularly this bill that introduces the new nitrate system. We keep referring it to as type 4, and that's, you know, that's the type of system that we're trying to introduce into law. Once that's introduced into law, then the injustice of decedent of probate map owners, then they will be able to build on their land, because right now they're not able to until we have a new system. And I think that's just an injustice by EPA. They're using loopholes in the law, in the current law, the way it exists. They took a part of the law that was not written clearly. It gave guidelines, but it left the guidelines to be implemented by the judges. And so EPA is now using that as their reasoning to stop building permits. And you know, interestingly enough, last week we had our show, and actually a couple of people that were watching that show reached out and said, Gina, what's, you know, we're in that same boat right now. We've been denied our building permit. What can we do? And I said, come, what you can do is come down and join us. That's why we're there. We're there to show our presence to the senators and ask them to please pass this bill 175-37, and also the accessory use bill, which is Bill 51-37. And that bill was introduced so that families, like, so I could add an extension to my house so that my kids could live in it, or my in-laws could live in it, or anybody could live in it, to include, if I don't need it for that purpose anymore, to include being able to rent it out at some future point. But though, you know, that's the reason we're showing up, because we're trying to get these two bills. We're encouraging the senators, please do the right thing, pass these bills, give some relief to the local families who really need some relief right now. And that's why we're there.
Okay, have you gotten, Liz, any other feedback since like our segments, and since, you know, people saw the story when you guys were down there? And of course there are, you know, there's always point, counterpoint, argument, counter argument, and everything like that. Have you heard from both sides?
Yes, we've had counterpoints, and even while we were there yesterday, we spoke as some of the senators came out to take a break. They would come in and out. So of course, we would approach them and ask them questions about supporting the bill, especially those that were not in support of the bill. And some of the feedback we got, that they felt that there are certain items in the bill that they were not in agreement with. And I think Gina and I are in agreement that it seems that maybe the bill it's not clear to them, the language in the bill. And they have to go back and really read, you know, what is the language actually, to see what it states, because some of them seem to think it means one thing, or didn't realize that it did cover a certain item. So I think it's critical to be familiar with the information, and you know, and I know that they're going to be debating it, but yes, we're getting feedback from both sides. But Gina and I just want to emphasize, this bill gives you, the public, the ability to build on your property, even if it's sitting over the aquifer. And depending on the size of your lot, it'll give you the ability to build. And it's a much safer, because it does address the nitrate system. And again, emphasizing, we are concerned about our water quality, our treatment of our water, but this system does help. And it addresses our housing shortage. I don't know how much more can we emphasize. It's not just as a realtor, it's as a citizen of Guam, this will help our current problem. And if they choose not to vote for it, then what solution do you have? What other alternatives do you have? And it's always a financial constraint about the sewer system. But here's an immediate relief. And so for you, the public that's listening, please reach out to your senators, especially if you're deeding property to your children and you want them to have the ability to build on the property. This is why we are fighting for this cause, to allow you to have your children build as well as you build on your property.
House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Guam is truly a majestic place with its sheer natural beauty, wealth of beaches, and culturally rich landscape. Unfortunately, Guam has a real problem with unwanted invasive species. Help us in preventing their introduction and spread. The coconut rhinoceros beetle, the little fire ant, the African snail, Siam weed. These are just a few of the numerous invasives on Guam. Follow proper custom procedures when bringing plants and animals into Guam.
Help protect Guam. Tell your family and friends about invasive species.
To report invasive species, call 475-PEST.
Find a plan that goes with your flow. Get unlimited local talk, text, and data at the most affordable rate with Unlimited Flow Postpaid.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo Select Care.
How's today, everybody? Weekly Renewal. Claire Calvo is here, the one and only, the woman, the myth, the legend, the person who has, for the last 20 years, taught you and I, the community, how to live a more holistically better life. Wellness, Claire, is at your core. We're childhood friends. We went to middle school together, so I've seen you have this dream, you know, when you went to the States and you really embraced fitness and wellness and everything like that. Came back, made a business. Now it's your 20-year anniversary, so congratulations, first of all.
Thank you. It's incredible. I look back over the past. Sometimes you don't realize how far you've come, because we're so used to like, oh, what's next, until you just pause. And something like an anniversary, right? That really like brings that home for you.
Now, 20 years in any industry, you know, retail, anything, clothing and everything like that is brutally hard to do. Wellness is a particularly difficult industry to get into because, you know, I mean, there's so many competitors, turnover can be high, you know, like people come and go and everything.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
What are some of the challenges that you've learned now for 2 decades of bringing the unique style of wellness that you have to our community?
Well, the challenges definitely have to do with just staying afloat. Doing this in LA because I did open Hollywood Fight Club out there with a partner, and I think out there it was just, even though it's saturated with fitness, like everywhere, every block there's another studio, but there was always someone ready to come and invest in their health. Back on Guam in 2004, I would say the first 5 years were probably the roughest, just because we were new. Of course, you know, back then it wasn't, there was Paradise, there was Golds, there was like a few, you know, just, it was, the competition was a lot less.
And yoga was not a new concept, it just wasn't as thriving and as practiced as it is today locally.
Right, yeah. So
and you played a major part in that.
Well, Synergy really was the first yoga studio, the first brick and mortar. We had, you know, of course, Olympia, all the amazing, like, longtime yogis were at the Acetea. So yoga was already here, but we kind of just brought it into a studio setting. And so I think the challenges basically were keeping up with the time. So we had a strong core membership. That took a little bit of time to build. Rollin, he was my first partner, so he already had a following from Paradise. I was new to Guam, but every time I'd come back for Christmas, I kind of grew a following with more of the Thai Bowen dance. He was Pilates and yoga. Immediately he got me into yoga, but I think the challenges were just staying afloat, because this was really not, it wasn't a cash cow by any means. We did this because it was a labor of love, it's passion.
Absolutely.
But you know, you have rent to pay, you have bills to pay, so really I think it was just keeping the momentum, because membership can only get you so far, right? So it was probably always staying on top of, okay, and then of course in the beginning I'm like, oh, but let's make it donation based, you know, that would be great. And Ronald looked at me like, we're not going to survive on donation basis.
That might fly for maybe like 4 or 5 months and everything, but you know.
Right, but we were trained.
And that was way before Kickstarter, way before Patreon, any of these services we have now. I mean, you were truly relying on on the generosity and a core group of members that you had that really believed in what you were doing.
And they were seeing the results. That's what it comes down to. People come in, not just the physical results, but they felt the emotional, mental, the holistic result of not just working out and sweating, not just the workout, but the work in, which is truly what Synergy is about. You get a good workout, but also a good work in.
Okay, and you kind of touched on that, Claire, real briefly. I don't know if you realize how much you underscored that, but you know, most businesses cannot survive going with the core idea that they did. You've always expanded, you've changed locations how many times now? We're down in Agana right now, but yeah.
Yeah, so we had the Mighty and then we expanded to downstairs. So like really the main studio just moved from Mighty to Hoganya, but then we have the satellite yoga studio in East Hoganya.
What has that been now, managing multiple locations and a growing staff and a growing membership, and also, you know, you've got a full kitchen, you've got a wonderful juice bar, and it's not just, okay, come in, you know, sweat a little bit, do some yoga, and you know, like see you next week and everything like that. You really come in and you have people have an experience, mind, body, and soul.
Well, obviously, it's not just a one-person show. I mean, without my partners, Judy, Rosario, Lily Regis, Jezreel Moylan, this really is, when you think, the word synergy is about more than one coming together to create a result greater than the individual parts. It takes the owners, the instructors, the staff. We have been blessed with an amazing team of people. Like, you know, obviously they kind of evolve, you know, like we get a lot of college students coming out of college, but through the years, we've always had a great team. And
you talk about girl power, you've got you, Judy, Lily, and Jezreel. You guys were the Spice Girls way before the Spice Girls.
Well, of course, it started with me and Rollin, and we were a great team. And I know a lot of people talk about, oh, partnerships, oh, you don't want to do it, especially with friends. We've just been blessed. I mean, it's been auspicious to just have these, you know, of course, we have our, like siblings, right? We have our little tiffs here and there, but overall, we know that Synergy is our baby, so we pull together, put differences aside, but it's really just been an incredible team just over the years.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Is KFC's new Cheetah pizza?
Fried chicken? That's not pizza.
That's right. It's not pizza. It's Cheetah. Only at KFC.
In times of uncertainty, trust is what leads the way. The Medical City, your trusted partner in health.
And as long as I've known you, you know, you always live in the moment and for the moment, but you're always like a good chess player thinking 3 steps ahead. So what are you envisioning now about the next 20 for Synergy?
Wow, well, we are still, believe it or not, after the lockdown pandemic, after Mawar, we are just finally coming back to some sort of equanimity, some like homeostasis, right, of, okay, we're good. But now looking forward, we're really exploded with the Pilates reformers that we just got. That's a huge one. So Judy, Lily, and Jezreel were all certified with Pilates. I am expanding more into more somatic therapy. So
Nice.
I grew up as a dancer, and it's been a rough 2021 was just, I was through the ringer. Personal things in my life going on in my family and in my life. And that brought me deeper into more somatic therapy, trauma recovery work. So I've been working also with Risha again. She's a therapist, and we did some expression session workshops.
Interviewed her several
kids.
times. She's amazing.
Isn't she?
Yeah.
So I really love working with the kids and we had a lot of foster kids there. We had some kids from DYA. I want to work with, and my parents, of course, you know, they're 90, they both have dementia. So I've been really working a lot more on the beginning stages of life and the end stages of life, and I want to really just explore deeper into somatic therapy, trauma, like a lot of different things dealing with body, mind, still holistic work, but not so much more like in the classroom setting or, you know, fitness room setting, a little more intimate setting.
How is the embrace of yoga like today and all forms of fitness that you offer? Because I remember like 20 years ago, people were like, oh, it's just a hippy dippy thing. Right. And the first class I took with you in yoga, there were like maybe 12 people in there. Yeah. And then Marie and Sabrina and I, six of the guys who were in there were Navy SEALs, and these dudes were like, okay, this is the ultimate workout for us. It gets us ready. So how has the community kind of like gotten on board with, you know, like the lessons that you teach and really say like, you know, it's not just a workout, it's preparing you for other aspects of life?
Oh, absolutely. So, well, first of all, we have many styles. So here we have power yoga, we have the vinyasa yoga, we have hot yoga, we have gentle restorative yoga. You guys walked into a power yoga class.
Yeah.
So really,
that was a heck of an introduction, I gotta tell you.
So there is yoga for everyone. And it's beautiful to see over the 20 years how much yoga has evolved and has really branched out. I just came from the Eno Wellness Fest this past weekend, and Liv is doing a magnificent job really opening it to, you know, there's a younger generation. They're hungry for this type of, it's not just a workout, like I said earlier, it's a work in. So they really are exploring the depths of yoga, because yoga, the word yoga, it means to yoke, to come together, to unify mind and body, higher self with lower self, and there's 8 limbs of yoga. So the asana, the physical practice everyone sees, that's just one component. So seeing not just how much it's become more available to everyone, but also the deeper levels of not just the physical asana practice, not to dismiss it, but there's the deeper levels of the meditation, the pranayama, the breathing, like all of it together. Yoga's a lifestyle. You know,
If you just do it for the exercise, good for you, but you're doing it wrong. You're not getting the whole picture.
Well, maybe not wrong, but you're just taking one little.
There's so much more you can get out of it.
Absolutely,
And it's amazing. And you have been a core part of that and everything.
Thank you.
Okay, so wrapping up, what are you doing for the 20th too? You know, and I always know you, and you always believe in giving back and thanking the people that got you here, because certainly without the community support, and you said your team, your partners, and everything like that, how are we celebrating 20 years of synergy?
So on the 29th, next Saturday, we're going to have an open house. Well, first of all, this week, all week we have free classes. We have 65 classes each week, and so all of them are free, except for the Pilates reformers, because those are like on a wait list and people have already paid for those, but you can still try to get in. But aside from the Pilates reformer classes, all classes are free this week. So especially those who are not members, bring your friends in. Those who are members, bring your friends, your family, everything is free. Saturday the 29th, we have an open house. Again, classes are free. We're gonna have vendors, food trucks, nutritional class here with Jesse from Boca Box. We're gonna have free refreshments, entertainment, raffle prizes. We're gonna have free seats for the Twin and Win Detox that's coming in August, September. There's going to be a chance to have that, a free pass for that. So it's gonna be an incredible day of holistic health and wellness and free stuff.
Okay, final question, right? 20 years into this, you are at the point in your career and your life, I would dare say, because we go back a ways and everything. You could literally do anything in any part of the world that you wanted to. I know your character, I know your work ethic, your drive, and everything like that. If you wanted to set up a company on the other side of the world, like in Japan, you could make the next if you wanted to, right? No doubt there. What keeps you going with this profession that you're in, and truly, your vocation is your avocation. It's not just a job. It's not, something you set up. Yeah. So what keeps you going?
My child, my son, KP, my vision, my love for this island, my parents, my family. The things that keep me going are the people who I love, the people I'm closest to, but keeping synergy right. Because there have been times that I've kind of thought about fluttering, going here, going there. but my parents are in their golden years, so I want to be here to help them through this transition in their life. And of course with my son and this Synergy family. We started 20 years ago and there's still so much more to go. So really just seeing that vision come to life and manifest as beautifully as it has, that's what gives back.
I like that. I've always appreciated the fact that she named her company Synergy, but if you named your company Love, that would have fit you perfectly too. The love could be right across there. Whoops, as I hopefully.
Our chakra healing bed.
What is this, by the way?
So it's a chakra. These are quartz crystals from Brazil, Abadinia, Brazil, and it goes along with the color and the frequency of each of the 7 chakras. So people usually will lie here for about 20, 30 minutes. We have music playing, they have the sound therapy, and they have the quartz crystals activating.
This and many more things await you right now at Synergy. So Claire Calvo, never a job, truly a passion, like you said, a labor of love, and really your calling and everything. So congratulations to you. You really made your dream come true, and I'm so proud of you and so happy for you.
Thank you so much, Jace. Thank you.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo Select Care.
How deep do Pizza Hut's roots run in the islands? Through all the decades, we know what you love. Great taste at an even better price. Like our large one-topping carry-out pizza for just $15.99. You choose your favorite topping, pepperoni, olives, sausage, or any other single topping. Our $15.99 large one-topping pizza. Order online and carry one out today. Only at Pizza Hut, the island's best.
Health Check is brought to you locally by Island Cancer Center. 100 Strong Hearts, Strong Minds is a program that was made possible through the Guam Economic Development Authority's Programan y Panilan y Thamaguan Guahan. Programan Panilan has made comprehensive and historic investments in the child care industry by empowering more Guam families with resources and financial support. Michelle Peer was part of the 3rd cycle of the grant.
The concept is based on mindfulness for kids and teens. So in 2 age brackets, 5 to 11 and 11 to 15, give or take.
Peer created 2 sets of books for each bracket that focus on conscious living, mindfulness, managing emotions, and feeling good, and manage life. The goal was to have a distribution day for the books.
Just to get all these mindfulness books into the hands of kids and teens, because I think being able to manage your emotions or just being self-aware of how you feel and how you're making choices in life, I wish I had some of these books when I was younger.
The ones she has read, she says they've really helped her, so she hoped that it could help others.
I'm sure a lot of people by now have heard of like the law of attraction and stuff like that. It kind of went very mainstream over the last 10 years. I read this book a very long time ago, and it is full of just like simple exercises that help you move up the emotional scale. So they kind of break it down from, the lowest point of the emotional scale of basically despair and hopelessness, and then you can gradually move all the way to the other end of the scale, which is joy or bliss or just pure contentment, So it kind of explains how wherever you are on that scale, you can start anywhere, wherever you are, and there are exercises. Let's say like if you're angry a lot, there's simple exercises that help you move from anger to the next level of the scale, which just kind of neutralizes that energy a little bit. Also, even if you're even if you're still feeling pretty good, just like simple contentment, you can work your way even further up the scale to like pure bliss and joy and all of that. So there are a lot of fun exercises. It kind of makes it almost like a game. So this book helped me to kind of even look at life a little bit like a game and how you can play with energy and use that to change how you feel. This is one of my favorite books, The 4 Agreements. I read this a really long time ago, maybe like 15 years ago, but it has stuck with me ever since then. It's a pretty small book. It's pretty easy to read, and it's only 4 agreements, so it's kind of easy to remember. And this has served me a lot in life, and I think a lot of people could benefit from reading this.
She believes that the more people are able to feel happy and healthy, it benefits all of us. Overall, it adds up to a better community and society. What happened is that after the program, Pierre found herself with extra sets of books, and she hopes to get them into the hands of parents, kids, and teens. She's doing a call out to teachers, those who work in nonprofit organizations, and of course parents. If you're interested in such books, you can reach out to her on Instagram at creative_indeed. The book sets are free, but donations are always welcomed. With this week's Health Check, I'm Jonagan Charfris. Health Check is brought to you locally by Island Cancer Center.